Hi everyone, Inner Book Reader here. Today I want to talk about Akane Banashi, written by Yuki Suenaga and illustrated by takamasa moue. This is one of those non-battle manga where the storytelling is in one of those typical shonen manga where the characters are fighting to be the very best like no one ever was. It's just in shonen, it usually means you are punching each other for one reason or another, whether you are trying to have revenge or saving the world or you're simply a hater. But in a non-battle manga, instead of fighting like you're secretly in a fight club, you battle using other means. Some of the most famous one, for example like Death Note, is a battle of wits between everyone's favorite edgelord and everyone's favorite, in case if you haven't noticed, I'm weird guy. Or in Bakuman, where the main character is fighting to get the top spot to be the best mangaka in the story. It's quite literally the pen is mightier than the short story compared to the usual shonen. Akane Banashi, like the two stories I mentioned above, is also a non-battle manga, and like Death Note and Bakuman, is also a story that is a collaboration of two people. One is the author of the story, and the other is the artist who translated that story into manga form. And the story starts not with the titular main character Akane, but her father, Shinta Arakawa. He's a Rakugo storyteller, an ancient form of oral storytelling where the storyteller sat on a cushion and told a story in a very limited form of having to sit the entire time there. While Shinta is a talented storyteller enough to get Akane hooked on Rakugo, he's a struggling artist that barely got any guests on his show. Since it's an old form of media where seniority still matters the most, there are levels to being a Rakugo. First and lowest is Sensei. They're the opener and are basically interns that need to cater to their senior needs. The second is Futatsume, where Akane's father is at, and the third is Shin-Uchi, the headliner of the show and the rank where Shinta is attempting to be. Not to get better at his job, but so he can finally make more money out of it for his family. And since earlier in the story, he's shown to be actually getting worse from his best performance. He's been at this for 13 years and he's barely showing any result money-wise. And that puts societal pressure on him because of people's expectation on him as a husband and as a father, and his own insecurities that come with that pressure. As a result of that, he's showing one of the weakest opening to his show during the ranking performance, but he remembered that Akane is watching the show and started locking in, started getting into characters of the story, giving quite possibly one of the best performances in his life. Since Rakugo is such an old media, to make a living out of it, you need to join a school and the master, the most senior of the school, will decide on your livelihood. For example, Shinta's master is Shiguma Arakawa from the school of Arakawa, and he have a fellow student from the same school who built a different school, Ishio Arakawa, who judged this show and decided that every performance in this ranking show, including Shinta, is to be dispelled from Rakugo and to never put out a show again. Now, unlike Eminem, who for some reason is putting out albums after albums about getting cancelled, which is delusional since no way music platform will actually stop him from putting out trash that is listened by tens of millions of people on their platform, that's actually the end of Shinta Arakawa's career as a Rakugoka. But that event lit a fire in Akane to be a Rakugoka like her father. Now to repeat myself, the story starts with Guriko Arakawa from Shiguma Arakawa school following his own master because there's a rumor that he's been seeing a younger. Since the Arakawa school has been on the spotlight because of the expulsion incident a few years ago, he decided to follow his master to make sure that the rumor is unfounded. Unfortunately, the rumor is true. Shiguma went into a karaoke and Guriko saw him alone with a young girl. But unexpectedly, she started doing Rakugo, and she's quite good at it. She is Akane. After Shinta's expulsion from the Arakawa Rakugo school, he finds a job selling concrete and everyone has moved on from his storytelling, but Akane still remembers his dad's storytelling, how she can see the characters every time he practices Rakugo at home. She begged Shiguma to teach him Rakugo and let her perform under his school, but at that time she was too young for Rakugo, so for 6 years since then, he's been giving her private lesson. And now that Akane has grown up to high school, it's time for her to finally perform Rakugo in public. With the misunderstanding resolved, Akane went with Guriko to perform at a small venue. She was nervous at first. Rakugo is such a lonely occupation after all, where all the pressure is on the performer and the only thing they can rely on is telling a story to a live audience. It's like if there's a hard difficulty for stand-up comedy. But thanks to her watching his father train all the time, her 6 years being taught by Shiguma, and Guriko's encouragement, she killed it on stage, getting love from the few people that watch her on stage debut. She then met who will be one of her competitors in the story, Kaisei Arakawa. He specialized in performing a seductive character, then contrasted with the opposite to highlight the characters. He's from Isho Irikawa school and the only performer in the school that has become Futatsume. He was amazed by Akane's debut, so he invited her to join Isho's school, which of course she refused. She asked Shiguma to officially join his school. He accepted, but she needs to bring her parents and they need to consent as her guardian. While Shikuma was happy that Akane joined his school, he was nervous at meeting her mother, Masaki, since the last time they met, it was when Shinta was expelled. She came with Akane and they talked. To Shikuma's surprise, she already knew that Akane was practicing being a Rakugoka, which she rejected at first because of what happened to Shinta, but Akane insisted on being a Rakugoka, and Shinta actually said that as long as she's under Shikuma Arakawa care, she'll be fine. So Masaki relented and gave her blessing to Akane being a Rakugoka. Shikuma swore to make Akane into a worthy Rakugoka, and she finally officially became his student. And quickly she was introduced to the other students of Shikuma Arakawa school. These four are all Futatsume, and they are supposed to guide Akane on her Rakugo journey. There's Kuriko, who we already met, there's Koguma and Maikeru, who refuse to guide her, and then there's Kyoji, who will be the one to guide her since the other two refuse, and Kuriko is still new at being Futatsume. His first lesson is Kitaperaki, which is basically doing intern chores, but Akane wanted to prove her skill as a performer, and Kyoji did let her perform once, but she didn't get the result that she wanted. She kinda bombed on stage. Kyoji said it's because her performance is selfish. It didn't cater to the audience needs, who is all old people if you paid attention to the panel, so to learn how to please the audience, he sent her to do part-time in a service industry, serving at a restaurant. She managed to learn something here, and at the end of the day, Kyoji told her to perform again the next day to show her what she has gained from this lesson. She was to perform at a retirement home, and already she got better at her cold opening, where she learned about what affects the audience the most before choosing what kind of performance she will give to the audience. Then once she did all that, she told her story, a story that the audience fully enjoyed. Then she got to see Kyoji, her senior, perform. His specialty is taking everything seriously, just like how he lived his life and how he treated his job and everything. He performed a very serious rakugo, sometimes too serious to the point of absurdity. It's absurd comedy, and with that performance, he showed Akane Futatsume level of storytelling. And that's how the story goes. Each arc, Akane will learn something and show what she learned while we are being introduced to the other characters in the story. In the next arc, that opens with Akane filling her future plan survey in school, it will eventually end with her getting information about a Rakugo competition, where the judge is the best of the best, Isho Arakawa. And Isho decided that he'll meet and answer the question of whoever wins the tournament arc. This is a chance for Akane to finally get the answer from the man himself on why he expelled his father 6 years ago, so she decided to join the competition, which Shiguma agreed to. During the course of the competition, she'll have to learn a classic story, Jukemu, which she learned from Koguma, who will teach her to appreciate a story on a deeper level. And with that, she went into the preliminary, battling against talented young first-level Rakugoka like Karashi Neriyama and Hikaru Koraki, people who already got names and recognition in Rakugo compared to the newcomer Akane. Akane will go through a ton more of Rakugo battle, and the people we have seen will be there as her teacher, friends, and rival. And there will be more characters being introduced to the story like Borshin Uchi and other school of Rakugo besides Arakawa, since there are a lot of other masters in Rakugo. There are limitations to the character writing because of how many characters are needed to flesh out the world, so a lot of characters will stay as a basic side character that we know only from their trope. They won't have the most complex character writing like a certain Rakugo masterpiece related anime, but this is still such a good read. The use of the art style to showcase the different level of storytelling is so good. It's one of the best use of spread panel that I see in manga storytelling. You can really tell when the storyteller is at the level of Shinuchi. The storytelling itself can be a bit slow, but it's deliberately done for the most part. It's to raise the audience expectation and then hit them with a bang. It's the art of delayed gratification. I'm not going to be surprised that there will be people who drop the series because they don't have the patience to wait until the climax hits the spot, but I promise you, this is one of the best non-battle battle manga that have ever been published, and it's worth all the wait and all the hype that it got. Give it a chance. I give this a 4. What do you think? Let me know if I missed anything, so leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it. See ya.